Morning everybody, thank you all for coming today. My name is, I could do with my clicker, don't I? There we go, click down his next slide. There we go, that's me. My name's Grace Ingham. I am the Head of People Support at Chess, so thank you for coming along today. I have been a part of the Chess journey now for over 15 years, and over those 15 years, I've seen the business change, shape and develop into the modern workplace that I guess everyone that's here from Chess today will probably all agree with, and we're really proud to be a part of it. So it's my role as the Head of People Support to look after our people throughout their whole journey with Chess. We nurture, grow and develop our culture that we've developed over the years and we're really proud of. Like I say, I look after our people from day one, right the way through their employment with us, through our leadership team, our team of cultural ambassadors, like I say, nurturing that culture of making Chess a really great place to work. So what am I going to do today is talk to you about some technologies, some automation, some platforms that really supported me and my team, especially over the last 4 or 5 years. So I think there's no doubt about it that technology is influencing the way we work, right from, if we look back at COVID, I think this current switch towards a digital workforce it's encouraging and challenging organisations like ours to rethink the business model. If you asked me 5 years ago, will Chess be a home working company in 2024, I would have gone, oh my God, no, not at all. Not a chance in hell, but we are. But we're really proud of that as well. And it's working really well for us. So if we cast our mind back to COVID, and I hate kind of referring to COVID, I think a lot of people use a little bit of an excuse, but there's no doubt about it that period in time was the catalyst for change for many businesses, and it was for ours as well. I remember the day vividly when Boris stood on the screen and said, go home. We were like, oh my goodness. Every HR team in the country were quivering in their boots, but luckily enough at Chess, we had the infrastructure in place, ready to do so, down to things like everybody had a laptop. There were lots of companies out there that were still using a PC. So we all had a laptop, that was number one. And we had Microsoft Teams installed as well. Just make sure I'm on the right slide. No, I'm not. We had Teams installed, which was great. So we said to our people, right, up sticks, go home, and we're going to navigate this storm together collectively. And we did. And do you know what? We had a tricky few weeks, but actually it was working really well for us. So like I say, we navigated that with everybody else in the world. And when the world started opening up again, we said to our people, right, guys and girls, what do you want to do? And this is going to go back to surveying. And I think Paul's mentioned it, Martin's mentioned it. It's really important. So I'm the head of people and my customers are our people. They're your most valuable asset. So you've got to be listening to what your people are saying. So we surveyed our people and we said, right, what do you want to do? Do you want to come back to the office? Do you want to stay at home? Or do you want to do a little bit of both? And lo and behold, over 90% of people said we want to stay at home. So we thought, okay, right, what are we going to do with that information? So we sat down, the board had lots of meetings, and we thought, well, okay, that's what our people want to do. Let's do it. So we had, Paul, you've nicked my content. We had 7 offices across the UK, right the way from Paisley, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Burnley, Bury St Edmunds, Boreham Wood. We closed them down. We kept our head office in Alderley Edge, and we opened satellite hubs across the UK where we did previously have offices. And what that enables our people to do is to go into an office, go into a hub, collaborate with their people. They can have a team day, they can have a hub day. We have enforced something along the way called Home First Guidelines. And these are a set of rules which sit separate to our contracts of employment, but they are a set of guidelines which say we expect you to have a hub day once a quarter. We expect you to have a face-to-face one-to-one. We expect you to do X, Y, and Z. And this loose set of rules is actually encouraging our people to get together more than we would have anticipated. And it's working really well for us. So that's just setting the scene a little bit. Hopefully you know a little bit about us now. So my first piece of software we've got is Power Apps. So show of hands, who's using 365 at the moment? Okay, those of you that are using 365, who's using Power Apps? Okay, cool. At least someone knows what I'm talking about. So we're in the middle of a pandemic. We had a duty of care to our people. They're our number one priority. So health and wellbeing at Chess, for me, it's number one. I preach about it all the time. So we're in the middle of a global pandemic. All our people at home, how do we keep them safe? So don't forget, we've got people who are engineers. They're going out to customer site. We needed to know who had COVID, who was showing symptoms, who'd been in contact with somebody, who was due to go to site. So we developed, using Power Apps, something called the Daily Status application. Originally developed for COVID time, but we're still using it to this day because we've developed it further. It was initially used to find out who had a symptom, basically. So people would log onto their laptops, they'd turn on Teams, Power Apps would send them a notification and go, don't forget to do your daily status today. They would choose a drop-down box and it would say whether I've got a symptom, whether I'm cool, whether I've been in contact. They would also select their working location, which is I'm at home today, I'm at customer site today, etc., etc. And it worked really, really well. Really simple, yet really effective. Power BI came into force and we looped everything that went into that Power Apps into BI. So I had a really cool dashboard that showed me everything I needed to know. We come out of the pandemic and we think, well, actually, this piece of software is working really well for us. How could we better utilise it? So we do something at Chess where we want to know how our people are feeling, and it's called morale. We really want to know the morale of our people, especially being a home-first company. So to this day, I did it yesterday, I'll do it later. Everyone in the room that's a Chess person's looking at me going, oh yeah, that old chestnut. You'll open up your Teams, Power Apps will send you a notification and go, don't forget to complete your daily status today. And it'll pop up. Oh, I'm on the right slide. I've just done it. Oh, where are we? 5. I can't see it's the sun in this building. I can't see the smiley faces. It will pop up with 5 smiley faces. And those of you who are familiar with 365 will be familiar with those smiley faces. But behind those smiley faces at Chess are a score from 1 to 5. 1 being poor, 5 being fantastic. So our people will log on, they'll choose a smiley face and let us know how they're feeling. If we have somebody that is a 1 or a 2, which is the 2 on the left, that instantly sends a message to their leader and goes, Paul's a 1 today, can you reach out to him? It also notifies me and my team. Paul's manager will reach out to him and go, Paul, are you all right today? You've scored a 1. And it could be, oh, I was up all night with the kids. They were, I'm knackered. But that's cool. We know about it. At least we know about it. If you're in the office, you can gauge from, facial expressions, body language. But when you're at home, how do you know how your people are feeling? It could be, Paul's a new starter, he scored a 2. Are you all right, Paul? What's going on? You've scored a 2 today, everything okay? Oh, I could do with some more of that co-pilot training. But that's okay, we can jump on that and it allows us to react really, really quickly and jump on top of any issues. So that's what we're using Power Apps for at the moment. I use it as well in my team for probation. So going back to those scores of 1 to 5, our people that are in probation, we use that 1 to 5 scoring mechanism. So every Thursday, a leader who's got someone in probation will get a notification from Power Apps and go, don't forget to score your new starter today. And they score them out of 5. And for me as the people team, we know we can track if anyone needs some help, needs some support. It's great for performance management and it's a really simple feedback mechanism. So that's how Power Apps was initially born at Chess. We feed it into Power BI, and it's a really, really simple yet effective tool that's working very well for us. So I touched on BI there a little bit, and that has absolutely revolutionised my reporting. Is anybody using it at the moment? BI? Yeah, I've got a nod there from the front. So, like I say, we used it to feed in our morale scores, but I'm also using it at the moment for my reporting in the people team. So, I think back in the day when I look at how I used to report, I'd be manipulating data in Excel, trying to put a smart art in there. It was really subject to error, but together with our integrated HR system using the API there, we pull our data from our HR system into BI, and I've got a dashboard now which has got some snazzy features like this, which I can report on attrition, headcount, sickness absence levels, morale scores, recruitment, all in one really snazzy format, which it's great. It's revolutionised the way I do my reporting. I can export it into spreadsheets, I can share it with the board, and yeah, you can see here a 57k saving in the first year. So I was finding that our recruitment process, it was a little bit clunky. We were spending too much time messing around on spreadsheets, trying to track candidates manually, and it wasn't really working. So we kind of got our heads together and we thought, well, let's have a look at what platforms we can use to kind of automate that process for us. So we're using SharePoint for storage, we're using BI to track our vacancies, I'm using Power Automate to automate emails, and Power Apps for a vacancy tracker as well. And like I say, it's completely revolutionised my recruitment process. So I think when Oliver did say, well, you come and speak at the FIT conference, I was like, are you joking me? I'm not very technical, but actually I think we've come quite a long way in how we're doing things. And I think this just goes to show that, these features and these tools that we're talking about, they hit every element of your business. It's not just your customer facing teams, it's not just your sales teams. I'm the head of people and otherwise known as HR. It's impacting my team as well. So I think it's about embracing and adopting these technologies to really see how you can make some efficiencies as well. Okay, where are we up to? Okay, so now we know how our people are feeling. We've got our morale, so we know how people are feeling through our morale scoring. We know how we're tracking our MI and our data using Power Apps and BI. How do we keep our people engaged? So we're a home first company, really proud to be part of the best companies listing. I'm going to keep dropping it in there. We are the #1 best company to work for in the Northwest. We've been part of the best companies list now for over 15 years. We surveyed earlier this year, squeaky bum time, results come out next month, eagerly awaiting what we're going to come this year, but #1 in the Northwest, second in the large business category and third in the tech sector. And I will shout it from the rooftops, but I think, Engage has been really, really pivotal in that engagement journey for us. So this is the platform that we're using. We've used it for a number of years now. It was developed internally by our developers, and it's a system that helps us track performance of our people. Again, you can see the 1 to 5 rating mechanism there, but before I go into Engage, can I just, a show of hands, who in their companies does monthly one-to-ones or appraisals? Monthly? Annually? Biannually? Is it? Annually, okay. And how do you do that, if you don't mind me asking?
The appraisals? It's very clunky.
Is it clunky?
Yeah.
You might need a bit of Engage in your life. So what Engage does is, like I say, it's a platform where our people, it's expected, it's non-negotiable. Every single month our people will do a one-to-one. It's expected the second Friday every month, non-negotiable. It's half an hour of their time where a person sits with their leader and they talk about the month prior. So what happens is when you log on to Engage, it'll pop up and go, there'll be a map of words, different words. So engage, motivated, exhausted, substandard, happy. And behind those words is a sentiment score. And those sentiment scores let us know how our people are feeling. So it'll ask you to choose 3 to 5 words on how you're feeling. And that sets the scene to your morale. It'll next pop up with a bubble and go, how would you describe your month last month? What 5 things are you proud of achieving? And that lets that employee sit with their leader and go, oh, I got this great deal over the line, or I completed this report. Next bubble will pop up and go, well, what challenges did you face last month? What did you struggle with? And this allows the employee to go, oh, Paul didn't come back to me on that bloody thing, or, that report, I'm really struggling. You're in my eye line. Sorry, Paul. It allows that employee to sit with the leader and go, I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z. And next up is the golden part of the one-to-one form. This is a 360-degree feedback where the employee, using that 1 to 5 mechanism that our people are very used to using, will score their leader out of 5, and their leader will score the employee out of 5. Okay, so it's a full 360-degree feedback. It could be that Oliver had dropped a ball that month and not come back to someone, so Paul's going to score him a 3 and go, Oliver, you didn't come back to me on X, Y, and Z, but that allows us to identify any issues. The employee then scores their knowledge out of 5, and then we move on to the next bubble, which is, well, what actions from this one-to-one form are we going to take into next month? And that's quite key for me because that's setting the tone and the focus for your following month. So that last bubble of what are you going to take forward into next month becomes the top section of next month's one-to-one. So it's really half an hour a month where you're talking about what went well, what didn't go well, any support you need. It gives us an audit trail throughout the year. I can report on the scores. And what's really interesting is, from a performance management perspective, there's nothing more annoying than a leader coming to me going, I've got performance issues with Paul. He's not performing. And I'll have a look at the one-to-one forms. I'm going, Stephen, why have you scored Paul a 5 for performance when you're telling me he's not performing? So our leaders are trained. They know that if they're doing a one-to-one form, if we've got any concerns, let's use that 1 to 5 scoring mechanism wisely. So it's a really, really great platform to just keep in touch with our people. Another really good part of Engage is the praise function. So you're in the office, someone's done a good job. It's dead easy to walk over to them and go, oh, thank you for that. You've done a solid one there. How do you do that when you're working from home? So on Engage, we've got the praise facility. You go on to Engage, you search for Paul. Paul, thanks so much for sorting that report out for me. Paul can go onto that. He gets an email, by the way, saying Grace has praised you, which is it's always lovely to get a praise. It gives you a little bit of a boost. Paul goes onto that praise, and we, our people choose the 12 chosen charities per year in one of our surveys. Paul can hashtag that chosen charity, and we donate £1 for every praise raised to the chosen charities. To top it off, sorry, I'm on a roll here, every praise raised throughout the month goes into the draw for our Employee of the Month recognition award, which then results in a voucher on per box, and everyone gets really, really happy. Everyone's really, really happy. So it's a really, really great platform for reward, recognition, engagement, performance management, and our people really, really love it. We've also got storage on there, so we store our policies, we store our procedures, we store our monthly stand-up videos. So it's a centralised place for keeping all our people bits and bobs up to date. So if you think it's of interest, here comes my sales pitch. I'm not a salesperson, but if you think you would like a free trial, that's absolutely something we can sort out for you. But it's just a really, really great platform, and I'm happy to have a chat with you towards the end if you'd like to learn any more about Engage. So we know how our people are feeling. We know how we're engaging our people. We know how we're recognising our people, but how are we collaborating with our people? So we're a home first company, right? How do we keep everyone together? Now, 365 is just absolutely fantastic. I don't know where we'd be without it. It's our main channel of communication, especially being that home first company. So first thing that comes up on my laptop every morning is Teams. I don't know about you. So I go onto Teams, I'll do my daily status, I'll choose my morale, I'll say where I'm working, whether I'm at home, and then I go onto my daily huddle, which is also on Teams as well. So it could be I've got some people in the office that day, it could be that we're at home, but straight away it brings us all back together. So we're doing our huddles on there. I'm interviewing on there. So we are obviously a home-based company. That opens up the pool for candidates for me. I'm not having to try and recruit based on location. So I'm doing interviews anywhere in the country using Microsoft Teams. Training-wise, I'm using the breakout room feature. So Tim, my colleague, the head of culture, we use that quite regularly for any training sessions. But how are we communicating with our people company-wide? How are we updating them on key business information? So back in the day when we were office-based, the board or David, our chairman, would do something called stand-up, and it was a physical. What I'm doing today, he would stand up in the office, get us running on the spot, giving us an update on how the business is doing, how we're performing. But just because we're a home working company doesn't mean that has to stop. So first Monday of the month, myself and the board, we jump on a call called Stand Up, and it's using the town hall feature. We go into a bit of a breakout room, make sure our messages align, and then to the business live, we go live and we do an update. Oliver does a sales update, Stephen does an ops update, I do a people update, and we can see that we've got 250 people watching us, hopefully. We can record it, we can do a recap, and anybody that did miss that, we share it on our company collaboration Teams channel, which everyone is a part of. So it's really, really great. Talking of Teams channels, I don't know about you, but we've got loads. They each serve a purpose. So we've got our company collaboration channel. That's the main one where, you know, if you're tagged in that, you really should be looking at what's in there because there's key information. We've got our cultural ambassadors. So we've got a team of cultural ambassadors who drive and nurture our culture. They set out the culture calendar for the year ahead. We've got our own channel where we discuss things, we do polls. We've got our money saving tips, trips and ideas channel. We've got a channel for everything. But like I say, it's a really great mechanism just to share information, business updates, business news, training, reporting, and it brings everything together in one place. So that's how we're using it. Transcription, oh my goodness, this has revolutionised my life. I've only just learned it recently, so I'm cool enough to be able to have the Teams premium license now. So obviously in the people support team, I'm in a lot of meetings. I'm doing lots of minute taking. We're doing lots of, you know, my finger, I can touch type, I'm a dab hand, but this has revolutionised the way I work. So it's the new text-to-speech AI-driven transcription. So what that does is, if you've got the Teams premium license, you hit record, or you can actually set it to record automatically, can't you, Martin, I think? Yeah, you're nodding at me. And what it does is, if I'm in a meeting and I need to take notes, it's automatically transcribing that for me, and you can see it in real time. If there's anybody in that meeting that's not attended, then they can get a recap, they can get a copy, and yeah, it saved me so much time. So if you do need to be taking meeting notes, then it's brilliant. It's revolutionised us. We have a monthly SMT meeting on a Monday, and that's transcribed. Usually you can see people frantically writing down the key updates, and I'm doing an update on who started in the business and who's left that week, and it's like, don't worry, it'll all be transcribed. Put your pens down. So yeah, it saved us lots and lots of time, which is brilliant. So next up, we've got customer voice and forms. So again, going back to that feedback from your people. So like I say, your people are your most valuable asset. They are my customers. So if you're thinking of implementing anything in your business or making a change, you should be asking your people. You know, when we go back to COVID and we said to our people, what do you want to do? It made them feel valuable. It made them feel wanted. It made them feel like they had a voice. So we are constantly asking for feedback. And there is a lot out there in the HR press around survey fatigue. And there's no doubt it is a thing, but it's absolutely what you're doing with that data. There's no point doing a survey, asking your people for feedback, but not telling them what you're doing with that feedback. So every summer we go, we're actually in Manchester not that long ago in June, we hired out a cinema screen, we did our summer conference, and I stood on stage with my colleague, and we actually fed back from one of our quarterly surveys of what we were taking away from that and what we were going to implement. Gosh, we've had Crumpet Gate, we've had Coffee Machine Gate. If a coffee machine means something to people in the office, give them a coffee machine. You know, it could be a really quick win. We had bring back crumpets. Okay, if you want crumpets in the bread bin, we'll give you crumpets. But it could be something as little as a packet of crumpets, or it could be something as little as, you know, we need a hub in Warrington or whatever it is. So listen to your people. So voice and forms has absolutely revolutionised how we're doing our surveys. I think, you know, we used to use SurveyMonkey, very clunky, not that adaptable, but now, you know, we do our quarterly pulse survey using them. We've just done a Christmas party survey, who's coming, who's not coming, who needs a hotel room, and it's embedding those surveys into your culture and letting people know what you're doing with that information. So, yeah, I could keep going. I should probably rein it in. Am I going over, Jay? Am I all right? Yeah, I'm good. Okay. So all of these tools are brought together by product champions. So we've got our cultural ambassadors. They're our key to driving our culture, but our product champions are a set of people who are really, really knowledgeable. It was only a couple of weeks ago, I was on a call with Martin and he was sharing his screen and I was like, what is that? And he said, oh, it's my OneNote. I was like, that is amazing. You're going to have to just give me a bit of a lesson. So a couple of weeks later, Martin and I had a call and he's my go-to. He went, this is what you need to do. You need to do this notebook and create this page and you need to colour code it and then you can email this from that. And I was like, that's amazing. He is my product champion and I'm now always on OneNote as well as transcribing, as well as BI. So yeah, all of these things are brought together by our most valuable, knowledgeable people in the business who we use to share and drive them as well. So yeah, product champions are very, very important. So I guess from me, if you were to ask me, a modern workplace, I think it's a constantly evolving beast. You know, like I said, if you'd have asked me 5 years ago, would you be a home working company? No, we wouldn't, but we are. And we're really proud to be a home working company. So I think it's a responsibility of employers to embrace change. It's to ensure that that change fits with you and your culture. And yeah, we're the #1 best company to work for in the Northwest. We would not be there without all of these things that I'm presenting today. So I guess call for action is, if any of it is of interest, if you think that you would like some more information with adoption or support of any of these tools, then speak to anybody that is here today and hopefully they'll be able to help you. Is that all right? Smashing. Thank you.